So firstly, thanks for everybody for coming here tonight. London air quality, what's going on? So I've just moved to London and I've been on the tube and all I see are these signs. How clean is your air? This dude riding in the smog, and then when I went and Googled it, then it said, the Guardian said that there are 9,000 people dying every year because of air pollution. I've only ever lived in New Zealand and Abu Dhabi, so I had really not heard about how serious these this issue is, and so I thought that I really wanted to kind of have a look at some of the data and understand two main questions. Where is it worst and when is it worst? So you can actually go and download air quality data, and so I just have the link here. They're stingy and generous with their data in the fact that you can either download one for one site with 6 different types of pollutant, or 6 sites and only 1 pollutant. So that's, I wanted kind of all of the sites and all of the pollutants. But they're very generous as well in the fact that you can get a huge period of data, and you can get different time frequencies and periods. So I chose hourly data over the 12-month period, 1st of November 2015 to the 31st of October 2016. So it's quite recent. The data has a ratified or pre-ratified tag on it. A lot of the data that I downloaded wasn't ratified yet, and they say that can take 6 to 12 months, so I took it all as kind of being in the right ballpark. Maybe maybe we could go and do this again in 12 months and see if it's all been ratified and if the results are different. And so this is the data that you can get, and so IS6 is Islington Arsenal, so that's my closest site. The species is the type of pollutant. So here I've got NO for nitrous oxide. You can get NO2, nitrous dioxide, ozone, about up to 6, and also some wind directions. But Arsenal doesn't do wind direction, so I didn't get that. As you can see, the reading date comes in a date and time stamp. So later on I had to break that out. The value, and then the units, and then whether it was ratified or not. Down, sorry. So the first question I wanted to know was, where is it worse? And so when I went onto the air quality site, you can see it's got all of these different boroughs, and I thought, excellent, I'll be able to get everything. And then when you click on one of them, so for instance, my kind of Islington one, you can see that really, actually, I've only got 2 monitoring sites. And I live up in Stoke Newington, and so I can't really interpolate what's happening in Stoke Newington to a detailed level with what's going on in Arsenal and Finsbury Park and down over kind of more south east. And so my first question was a little bit hard to answer, actually. I found that they have an interpolated simulation, and so I'm just going to show you what they've done, because otherwise I couldn't actually tell you really what was happening in Stoke Newington. So they've got maps which have interpolated the average value of each pollutant over a whole year. And so as you can see, this is for particulates. Particulates are particularly nasty for us and cause lots of kind of early death. And so you can see it's all on the highways because they're mainly caused by traffic. And you can zoom into that as well. So, central London, you can see where it is really bad at a much better level than you could from just picking the data from the sites. And if I zoom into something like my kind of Stoke Newington, Islington site, you can see that they've got a much better interpolation. So you can see the yellow here, sorry, is a higher value, and blue is much less. So you can really see it's really just on the arterials. That matches with what they say, and the fact that as soon as you get onto a side road, it's better for you. Oh my gosh, only 1 minute left. So I ended up just having a look at my Islington site, the first thing I did was I broke down that date time into year, month, day of the month, day of the week, using date num and date parts. Date name and date parts, and then I created some profiles. So this first one up here is the average of nitrous dioxide over each of the months. And so from that you would just say, well, January's the worst, so let's focus on that. But remember that averages can be really deceiving. So when I kind of had a look at the spread of the data, you can see that January, yes, the median is higher than a lot of the others, but they've got these 3 huge outlier points which are pulling us up. So, just always be careful with that. And this is our January here, and so you can see that they had this big peak, which is which they call an episode. And then for January, for nitrous oxide, I made an hour, so these are hours, and so you can see it's really bad, kind of around 8 or 9 a.m., or around our peak traffic time as well. So that's the dashboard that I made. What next? Making it a lot more kind of visual, trying to drop in other layers as well. I'm out of time, but thank you so much. Pardon?